Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast with me, your host, Emily. Hope you are doing awesomely well today. Awesomely well. It's such like an American, awesomely well. Anyway, I hope you're doing great. And I hope you're about to get a bit better. As always, by the time we finish this pod, you are going to hopefully feel a little bit more set up in mindset of if you're on a fat loss journey, if you're on a health journey, fitness journey, whatever journey you're on to get to your results, I want you to be in a better headspace by the end of this episode. That is the goal. And as always, sometimes we're probably going to hear some hard truths or some points that I say and you think, holy shit, that's me. Like she's 100% talking about me. So let's get into it. Before we get into it, guys, I'm just going to do a tiny little disclaimer. I don't really want to talk about like the pregnancy on this podcast, but I do feel like I need to. If people are going to listen to this later down the line and think this girl's a health and fitness coach, why is she so fucking out of breath? Like, guys, I'm basically 9 months pregnant, and yeah, the bump is bumping, the sleep is not happening. And motivation slightly dwindling. So we've covered that. You've now got, feel a bit sorry for me, hopefully, and think, thanks, Sam, for still doing the podcast. But I do love the podcast, and I do want to make sure that I am still putting stuff out to help you guys. So let's get into it then. Results mindset, or the mindset we need to have to get results. The first thing is we need to backtrack and we need to think of the results, the end goal. What is it, and is it big enough? Because you do need to have a mindset shift when you are working towards any type of goal in life. You need to have a focused mindset shift. There are things that you are going to have to sort of quiet in your mind to make that goal take over a little bit more. So if the goal isn't big enough, and think of it like this, if the goal isn't strong enough and it's a weak goal and it's a bit rubbish and it's a bit pathetic, you're never going to be that arsed to make that mindset shift on it. And so what's going to happen? You're going to constantly fail and give up and start again. Okay, so when it comes to getting the right results for your mindset, when it comes to getting the right mindset for your results, you need to make sure that that goal of them results is big enough to make that mindset big enough as well. Okay, so just a little couple of things you can do on this. A lot of people, I want to lose weight, right? Okay, that's a crap goal. The better goal will be, I want to lose weight so I feel more confident. If I feel more confident, I'm probably either gonna have more confidence to get fitter to go to the gym, or have more confidence to go swimming with my kids, or have more confidence to start dating, or have more confidence to go for that job promotion. Okay, it's always digging into the why, and then the why again, and then the why again, because when you have that big strong why, that is what's going to run your mindset to be nice and strong. Okay, so first thing we cover before we talk about mindset hacks and techniques is the goal big enough to drive that mindset? And straight away, where are we? Less than 5 minutes in. I hope that has got you thinking, oh gosh, my goal is to lose half a stone, but I've got no real substance behind that half a stone, or I've got no real substance behind the why. So this is something I always use with my clients when they work with me, especially clients with kids, is, why? Because a lot of the time, well, that was quite rude of me to say with kids, but it's just my experience. What I feel is when I dig into the why of losing weight and getting fitter and getting healthier, and it comes down to the kids, do you know what the real reason why is? It actually goes way further beyond to get into a pair of jeans or get into a dress. It's because people want to be healthier for the kids. They want to stick around longer for their kids, for their grandkids. That is a big why. That why will fucking drive you away from Mackey's when you're driving there because you've had a rough day in work. Yeah. So always dig into your why a little bit more. And you know what? Like, genuinely, sometimes if your why is a physical goal because you've always felt like, you could never achieve a certain aesthetic look, you could never be a certain athlete in the gym or perform a certain way, like that's absolutely fine as long as you feel really connected to that goal. Okay, so point number 1 is find your goal for your results that you want to drive your mindset, and get it written down. Get it written down in your notes in your phone. Get it written down on a piece of paper. Okay, so yes, I am filling that water up. Okay, so the next one then, let's move on. I actually wrote this out in backwards terms, but I'm actually going to jump forward to what I put. So I'm going to jump forward to like 0.3, but I'm going to put it as 0.1 because I want to get it out there, because for me, as well as alongside, like, once we've nailed the goal, this is actually probably the most second important thing to get your mindset on side, and it is your timeline. What timeline are you expecting to achieve your results? Because I guarantee 99% of people listen to this, your timeline will be way too fucking small. Yeah? All of you. Every single one of you listening, I reckon, because I've done it myself. I've done it myself. I have set myself a goal in an unrealistic timeline before. And I promise you, that is the best way to ruin your mindset, to give up on your goal, is to give yourself too short of a window to work towards, okay? So there is a really common saying amongst, like, us fat loss health coaches, whatever you want to call us, and it's that the majority of people overestimate what they're going to achieve in 6 weeks and then feel disheartened at the end of it, or they underestimate what they can achieve in 6 months and don't go for 6 months, give up before the 6-month mark. I promise you now, that is the one of the most accurate things I've ever heard, that people overestimate what they can achieve in 6 weeks and underestimate what they can achieve in 6 months. And both of them mindsets are setting you up for fail. Because if you are only giving yourself 6 weeks, then I know, doing what I do, and bearing in mind, I run a really successful 6-week fat loss healthy habits program, right? I know what people are achieving in 6 weeks. Okay. And then from that, I also work with clients and I give them a 6 to 12 month timeline. So I know what they're achieving in 6 to 12 months. In 6 weeks is a great way to give yourself, right, I'm going to feel better at the end of 6 weeks. But what I get so many people what I hear off so many people is, I want to lose 2 stone in 6 weeks. Sorry, what? No. Even if you had, an insane amount of weight to lose, 6 weeks to lose 2 stone is still absolutely, it's like off the scale. Like, wow. I'm not saying it couldn't be done. I'm talking way morbidly obese, like plus 10 stone to lose. Okay, not 3 or 4 stone. But if you are plus 10 stone to lose and you were on it and you were just absolutely caning it, okay, you might look at like this huge weight loss in 6 weeks. But let's talk about majority. Let's talk about you listening to me now, okay? You are probably in the category, I say, majority of people who work with me want to lose either, if we're talking about fat loss, a stone to 3 to 4 stone. If you're a little bit higher, that's absolutely fine. If you're a little bit lower, absolutely fine. But I'm talking about the majority of fat loss clients. I then have clients who say, I've lost weight, I've lost the fat, I just want to tone up now. Well, you are even more out. You need to eat. Whoa. See what I mean? I'm so glad to said thing about being pregnant, about the baby brain. If you have done the fat loss and you want to do the tone, you need to step away from that 6 week mark. That is not going to fucking touch the sides for you, okay? 6 months, maybe 12 months now we're talking, okay? Because developing muscle is a lot harder than losing fat, okay? It takes a lot more repetitiveness. It takes a lot more time. It takes a lot more effort. It does. We should do this. What a great idea for a podcast. Getting tone versus losing fat. Let me just write that down. See, we should pause this. Getting toned versus losing fat. Oh, great idea. Okay. Where was I? So yeah, timeline of your mindset. So not thinking I'm going to achieve this massive goal in 6 weeks. Now, a common thing is when people, and this is what I'm trying to say about the Fit and Six as well, people say to me, what can I expect in 6 weeks? Like, what should I be aiming for? And I always say, because if you're starting out on your journey, right, or you haven't been eating a healthy diet and you're like, right, I'm having this 6 week overhaul, I'm starting now, I do always try and say, try not to have a definitive number. And I know that's a bit of a lame answer, but it's a true answer. Is that if you haven't been working, so if you haven't got, for example, if you haven't got 6 weeks experience under your belt, so you don't know what's possible for you to achieve in 6 weeks. So you literally, if you're saying, I want to achieve this in 6 weeks, you're plucking that number out of thin air. So I always recommend in 6 weeks, just aim to be better than where you are now. So mark yourself out of 10. How do you feel out of 10 when you look in the mirror? How do you feel out of 10 when you put your clothes on? How do you feel, out of 10 confidence going to work? How do you feel out of 10 fitness wise, right? And then in 6 weeks or in 3 weeks, halfway point, mark yourself again and see, has it improved? And just aim to improve over them 6 weeks. That's what I always recommend, rather than having definitive numbers and stuff like that, because everybody's different. And we see this a lot on the Fit in 6 as well, is that we have some girls who do absolutely get in 6 weeks insane results, physical results, right? But then we have girls who put the same work ethic in and don't maybe have that much of a quick result. Now, unfortunately, that is life. Get over it. Get over it. Don't whinge about it. Don't moan about it. Some people in life are given a better hand than others. And what you have to remember is that is in so many different circumstances. You might have one circumstance where you are blessed with, let's say, like the art of conversation, or communication. Like, you're really good at speaking with people, okay? And you can hold a room and people, are drawn to you, blah, blah. But you really struggle with your weight. Yeah. And you really struggle to get that stone or get that 2 stone off, or you're constantly yo-yoing. But then you have a work colleague or a mate, okay? And she's quite shy, really nervous talking to people, and you can't quite understand that, but she's, freaking body goals. Or you look at her and think, oh, I wish I could wear that outfit. Okay? And I'm really hoping this is landing, this is relating to you. Like, think of a positive about you and think positive about someone else that you know, right? That you maybe want to possess. Is that part of our mindset is understanding that when, we're all blessed with different hands being dealt. And one hand being dealt might be you lose weight really quickly. One hand might be that you get strong really quickly. Okay? But the others, it might not be. And I see this a lot with so many of my clients, and I have to really drill into them about this is where not comparing comes in, is that I have some clients and I know they need to go to the gym because they've got great body awareness. If I tell them something to move with their arm, move their leg, pull their core in, they're like, on it, got it. They send me the video, they've got it in one time. I then have clients who have to send me the same video 5-6 times over because it just isn't clicking, and they need that practice and they really lack in that body awareness. I don't get cross at them. I don't compare them and think, why are you not as good as the other person? Because everybody has strengths and weaknesses in different area. Full circle. So my point is about timeline, is about not comparing your timeline to anyone else's and wrapping your mindset around that. Okay, is that if you only have got 6 weeks, right, before you go on holiday and you want to feel better, or before you've got this night out or whatever, you've got to focus on, well, my aim in this 6 weeks is to feel better than where I am. And I promise you, use that markdown system. So you can use scales, use your clothes sizes, use photos, but also use the markdown system alongside that and be like, right, well, if that's improved, I've improved. When it comes to the 6 month mark, so this is, again, a lot of people don't stick this out. Don't stick the 6 month mark out, which is why I love it being a coach, because when I talk to people within that first conversation, they will always know, okay, this is your goal. And it might be, a wedding, a holiday, a dress size, whatever it might be. I will then say, right, well, you're probably looking at 9 months or 6 months or 12 months. Here's how we're going to break that down. Here's how that's going to look. And the thing that I love about that is I am then getting you to buy in for 6 months. I know you're not going to give up on this journey. All right, at least I know if you think about giving up, I will be there to remind you. That's okay, because on your journey, you're not meant to be there yet. You're meant to be where you are now. And I know you want to give up, but I'm telling you, if you give up now, you're going back to square one. And where you are now is exactly where you're meant to be. How powerful is that? And this is what I want you to remember when you're chasing your results and you get to 3 months and you're like, why is it not happening yet? Oh my God, it's going to take me on nicely to the next point. But why is it not happening yet? This doesn't work for me. I'm quitting. But you're quitting at the halfway point. You're not at that 6-month life-changing mark. And maybe you need that 12-month life-changing mark. Who knows, depending on what your results are. Why does that look like there's no noise on? Okay, we're just going to hope for the best that actually there is volume on. Terrifying. So yeah, in terms of 6 months then, the problem we have with this 6-month mark is that, number one, that first of all, that timeline doesn't even come into a lot of people's heads. They want now, they want fast, they want 6 weeks or less, okay? Unfortunately, as I've said, you ain't getting life-changing results in 6 weeks, okay? If you drop, should a side note, and I talk about this a lot, if you have 6 weeks, right, where you get phenomenal fat loss, I'm going to say muscle tone, but that would just be fat loss. Like, you drop so much weight and you get insanely fit. The likelihood is what you did for that 6 weeks, you aren't keeping up for the next 6 weeks, so therefore you're going to go backwards. I'm talking about getting the results mindset for long-term life change results, okay? You want something to be sticking, you need to give it time. Okay, so as I said, 6 months, people quit at the 3-month mark. Why? Because they look and they go, oh, I've had the last 2 weeks, I've been so good. I haven't gone out, I haven't drank, da. But then what they'll forget is prior to them 2 weeks that they've been so good, in bunny ears, prior to that, they had inconsistent weeks where life got too busy, so they didn't go to the gym. The oven broke, so they thought the best option was to eat out every night and getting a takeaway. But then they got on it and they did 2 good weeks again, so surely they deserve to be further on in the journey. Unfortunately, not how it works. Consistency, which is my next point, not perfection. Okay, so you need to look at, and again, this is why so many people fail. This is why I want to do this podcast, is that I couldn't give a crap that you have been perfect for 2 weeks. That's not what I'm looking at, okay? And it's not what you should be looking at. I give a crap at how consistent you've been for 80% of weeks on that 4 to 6 week mark. Show me a period. I did this with one of my clients this week. I said, show me a period if we go back, because I look at all my clients' results and food and stuff like that. And I get this a lot from clients. I've been great for 2 weeks. Why are things not the same? Why are they not moving forward as quick? And when we pan out and I say, okay, but let's look at August as a whole. Let's look at July as a whole. And we're very inconsistent. The majority of the weeks, we didn't track our food, or we had big social occasions that then led us not to track Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We didn't hit our steps. Our weekly steps were really down. You cannot trump months of inconsistency with 2 weeks of being good. Bunny ears are back again. Okay? But for some reason, that is your mindset. That is the majority of people's mindset of getting results is, oh, but I've been on it for 2 weeks and I've done all of these classes. I've tracked everything that's gone in my mouth and the fucking scales haven't moved. Because, yeah, where are you getting that thought that you are deserving of the scales to move or the measurements to move? You've done 2 weeks, which is probably just counteracting 6 weeks of inconsistency, which brings me back to that 6-month mark again, is that give yourself 6 months of being consistent, not perfect. No. Okay. Again, this is what I've put under the consistency. Stop focusing on how many times you've been fucking hell. Stop focusing on how many times you've been perfect. Pull back. How many times have you been consistent? Because that's what's going to make the difference, is that over them 6 months, you've had 70%, 80%, 100%, 80%, 90%, 70%. That's what your weeks need to look like. That out of your 5 gym sessions, the majority of the time, every single week, you've gone at least 3. Okay? There's your 70%. The 4s, the 80s, the 5s, the 90% or 100%, okay? If you're giving yourself 10k steps a day, This is why I track with my clients. I don't care what you've done day to day. What have you done over the week? What does your week look like? Because I will get clients who say, but I did 10K Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What did you do Monday to Thursday? 5. It ain't balancing out, hon. Okay? So you can see, even I'm pulling out from here from 6 weeks to 6 months, but do it with your week as well. What's your calorie total for the week? Not really day to day. Day to day is good for focusing, because obviously trying to map out for a week is hard. But when we do the Fit in 6, these are the facts and figures we're asking. How many days did you hit your protein? Because we're looking for above that 5 for that consistency. How many days over the week? What was your weekly calorie total? Because we want to see overall. What was your date? What was your weekly step intake count? I'll shut up in a minute, guys. So, okay, so hopefully that's helping, giving you some food for thought there. Is it a really common results mindset that is, having a negative impact on how you perceive results? Is you're looking at perfection, how quickly you were great at doing everything and you tracked everything, but you did it for 2 weeks. Even if you did it for 4 weeks, no offense, who cares? I've told you to focus on 6 months. Okay? So, consistency, not perfection. Got 2 more points to run through. Results mindset. It's your fucking choice. Stop moaning about it. Okay? If you are setting yourself up and asking for advice or working with a coach or literally doing your own plan, you've put yourself in a deficit, so you're on a diet, you've signed up to a gym, don't fucking moan about it. It's your choice. Nobody's got a gun to your head saying you need to do this, you need to do that. So why do we act like it? It's very annoying. And this is more so, I see a lot of this on social media, is that people will be like, oh, they'll just put like something up, and then it'll be like an excuse followed by a reason for, oh God, well, my clients will know, listen to this. Do not ever come at me with woe is me. I cannot stand it. There's 2 things. If anyone comes to the Mission Empowerment event, you will remember this is a phrase that was thrown about. It's your fault. It's totally your fault. Everything that happens to you, your fault. And I'm not saying that so you have to be like, oh, it's my fault. It's like, it's my fault. Move on. Crack on. I'll rectify it. If it's my fault, it's also then my action to go and change it. Okay, so this is where like the little bit of the tough love comes in. It's where people switch off because they don't want to hear it. But getting results and working towards a goal is absolutely your choice. It's nobody else's choice. Okay? And you have to own that. And that means owning everything. Owning the weeks that you go to the gym, that you track your food, that you buzz off it. Okay? But owning the weeks where you let work come before going to the gym. You let work come before actually feeding yourself. What is that? That's your fault. Don't be blaming work. Work pay you, but they're not, they're not in charge of you. They don't own your body. That's your fault for not setting boundaries, which we're going to touch on. I've done a whole episode on boundaries before. Okay, is that your boundaries come from internally, and internally come from you, and they put out how you're going to let other people affect you. That's what it is. So when you're blaming work, or you're blaming someone, you're blaming your partner, that's a you problem. That's a your fault problem, because you've let that happen. You haven't had that boundary to say no, or to say, have that aura around you that says, just don't even try me, don't even push me. I was talking to one of my clients this week. I always like to reference real life in situations like this. I have obviously a multitude of clients, and I have clients, with children, with work. And one of my clients gets up at 5:30 in the morning to go and get half an hour steps in, comes home, gets the kids up, sorts herself out. And she said to me this week, one of her kids got up early in the morning, and I don't know, well, I just woke up. They don't normally wake up, and she was up and she was just about to go out, and the kid was like, oh, Mum, where are you going? Can you come and get in bed with me? And she was like like the mum guilt was like kicking in, and she was like, do you know what? She was like, I tell you what, I'm going to be back in half an hour. Go and get in bed with your dad or whatever, and then I'll come back and we'll have a cuddle. And she was like, and inside, obviously the mum guilt was like, I want to go get in bed with my kid. The kid was fine. There's nothing wrong. The kid just woke up. And she was like, but I knew for my goals and signing up with you and us agreeing on this being my time, I knew that I had to go and get my steps in and get that walk in. And I checked that lady in, and then I followed it with another check-in with another client who said, I haven't tracked any of my food this week because the kids have gone back to school. Right. So obviously that client had a bit of a discussion, but it highlighted that it is totally in our mindset of it's our mindset, it's our boundaries, it's us telling us what we want that will dictate our actions. Okay, stop blaming other people, other things. Okay, as soon if I get this real big passionate feeling about this, but as soon as you have that switch go off where you take ownership for your actions, your mindset, it's a game changer. It's a fucking game changer. Got clients who will tell me, but I'm tired when I get up in the morning, so I really struggle to do my steps in. Who isn't tired when they wake up in the morning? Everybody is. But your mindset of I'm tired, I'm going to stay in bed, or your mindset is get up and get it done, girl. Yeah? It's the difference of that that's going to get you to your goals. Everybody, and I say this hand on heart, right? Everybody is capable of achieving whatever results and goal that they want to. Everybody is. It is not about your physical, it is about your mental. And if you can harness the right mindset to drive your results, you will get there. But the problem is, like I've said here, would summarize, the problem is, number one, your goal isn't big enough, so you don't know what you're driving for. Number two, your timeline is so off. Is that you are thinking you can do this huge amount of work in such little time, but leading on from that, your consistency isn't there to even do that big amount of work in small amounts of time. So you can see how much this is like setting us up, our mindset sets us up for fail because we don't have it in the right place. Get your timeline in order. Give yourself 6 months of being consistent and saying to yourself, and when you give yourself that 6 month mark, you're allowing yourself time to have that 10-20% of inconsistency. And that might be your meal out, a couple of drinks, snacks at the cinema, one day where you choose my work is more important than hit my step goal today. And I promise you now, oh my gosh, as a coach, we have so much more respect when our clients, I'm just speaking for the whole population about the sounds of it, but we have so much more respect for our clients when they say, my work has been so busy this week, I had to prioritize it. That's why my steps haven't been done. Because I know, okay, we don't have to delve into mindset on that. She's already accepting it, but I know I can now go and tell her, that's fine. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again this week. And that is conversation done and over. Compared to someone who says, I didn't hit my steps because work was so busy. I just couldn't get out. And then, and all these like excuses. And rather than just saying, I chose, that was my choice, and then you move on. I promise you, all of these little things will give you that more resilient mindset. Okay, so goal, timeline, your choice, own your actions, boundaries, don't be a people pleaser, your goal. This is why we need the big goal, because if it's your goal, you won't let other people stop you doing the actions that are going to take you there. If it's not really that big of a goal and you're a bit of a people pleaser, that goal is going to fall down by the wayside. I didn't say waistline then. It's wayside, is it? Anyway, should have said that. Okay, the last one we're going to finish, last little thing we're going to finish with, you would have heard me say this before, is not that it's your fault, but you can't defy science, okay? This sort of comes on the excuses side of things. Like, it is not let's talk about fat loss. It is not that difficult to lose fat, okay? You need to be in a calorie deficit, you need to hit your steps, and you need to be consistent. That's it. Energy expenditure is going to be lower than your energy output. No, sorry, energy expenditure is going to be higher than your energy input, okay? So you're going to be moving more, expending more than you're eating, than taking on. It's not that difficult. And I know that you probably rolling your eyes thinking, oh, why can't I lose 3 stone? Because of that stuff that I've just covered. Because you can't defy science. You either haven't given yourself enough timeline, haven't been consistency, your goal isn't good enough, and you haven't accepted ownership of like your choices that you've made. I guarantee, I haven't got £1,000,000, but if I did, I'll put it on that. You can't defy science, okay? So remove that excuse of it's hormonal, it's PCOS, it's this medication that I'm on, right? Anything that you find that'll say may be prone to weight gain, may make fat loss harder. The reason they say that is because of the effect it can have on your mood, your actions, your mindset. Okay? There are very few circumstances where hormonally it makes it really, 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 really difficult to lose fat. Like, and then that's like hormonally going on, okay? When we look at things like menopause, perimenopause, PCOS, we know that our hormones go through these changes, which then affect our actions. And we need to be more consistent, or, we get cravings for certain foods. It's the actions that then promote us, making it harder for us to lose weight. And the reason I bring that up is I think that's very prominent at the moment with people that I speak to, is that there's, unfortunately, it is an excuse. It is an excuse of, but not necessarily an excuse. Like, it's a definitive excuse for some people. Like, it's a no. I can't lose weight because of that. No, that's not true. And this is why I wanted to finish with this, because you can't defy science. Okay, fat loss is literally science. It is energy in versus energy out. And as long as you do that, I'm not saying it's not harder when you're perimenopause, when you're menopausal, when you're feeling stressed, when you are suffering with PCOS symptoms, but the bottom line is, it's obviously a whole different podcast on fat loss. If your mindset is driven to, I've got this goal, I'm going to make this goal work, you will find a way. And then you be consistent with it. Everything, you give yourself the timeline, you do the actions that are required, you be consistent, and I promise you, you'll get there. So I know that sounded quite harsh for me to end on, but I want it to be like more motivational, that if you are struggling right now and you do think it is like your mindset, hopefully this episode has helped you understand why maybe we think that way, and understand, actually, I wasn't doing one of the 5 things that Emma's mentioned. Okay, so we'll leave it there for today. As always, I do really, my purpose behind these episodes is to help you. And I know sometimes I am straight down the line, straight up talking, no fannying about, but that is why you are listening, because that is the type of probably advice and tough love that you're looking for. As always, if you let me know if you enjoyed this episode, or if you didn't, or if you've got any feedback at all, please drop it over to me. You can actually leave a comment on the episode, or you can drop it over to me on Instagram @_em.powered. Always happy to hear from you. So, girlies, you now have the tools to go and master your results mindset. Crack on with them results, get achieving them goals, and please let me know when you do. I will see you next time.